Well, South Africa and the United States find themselves at a diplomatic crossroads as tensions escalate between the two nations. The situation took a sharp turn following the U.S. government's decision to firstly withdraw funding, leading to further strain with the expulsion of South Africa's ambassador, Mr. Ebrahim Rasool. Now, as Rasool is expected to arrive in Cape Town tomorrow, questions remain about the future of the SA-US relations. And for more on this, let's now cross live to our senior reporter, Samkele Maseko, who joins us live from Cape Town for an update. A very good afternoon to you, Samkele. Good to have you with us. So talk to us about this expected return of Mr. Rasool tomorrow, who's been deemed as persona non grata in the United States. Does this then effectively signal the end of any diplomatic engagements with the United States and South Africa at this stage?
Well, Alicia, it does not necessarily mean the end of diplomatic relations between South Africa and the United States of America, with the homecoming rally that is being planned for Ambassador Ebrahim Rasool tomorrow at the Cape Town International Airport. We do know that there are a number of mobilization activities taking place across all sectors of society to welcome Ambassador Ebrahim Rasool tomorrow at the city of Cape Town International Airport. But we do know that the South African government, through the spokesperson of President Cyril Ramaphosa, Mr. Vincent Magwenya, he has said that they are calling for calm for all political parties to exercise maximum restraint, and that President Cyril Ramaphosa would engage with members of his political home, the African National Congress, to exercise maximum restraint, not to further fuel tensions between South Africa and the United States of America. We do know that he was declared a persona non grata by the United States government through a tweet that was sent out by the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, ahead of that particular letter or communication that was sent to the African Department of International Relations and Cooperation and to Mr. Ebrahim Rasool as well. But it does speak as if the relations between the United States of America and South Africa are at an all-time low. We also do know that political formations such as the Democratic Alliance, they've openly come out through their federal chairperson, Helen Zille, to say that the perfect replacement for Ambassador Ebrahim Rasool in the United States of America would be Tony Leon, who has previously been an ambassador to Argentina, that he would make a great ambassador within the United States of America. There are other names such as the Deputy Minister of Justice within the country, that would be Andrew Snell. He is also being touted about within the circles of the African National Congress. But the presidency, through Vincent Magwenya, has said that engagements with the United States of America will continue, but those engagements will only be confined to trade relations, and that President Ramaphosa has made it categorically clear that no delegation will go to the United States of America to explain South Africa's policy issues to the United States of America, because South Africa is a sovereign state and its policies will not be dictated to by the United States of America's government, in particular by the administration of President Donald Trump.
Very interesting that you mentioned that the presidency in this regard has actually cautioned those that will be at this welcoming ceremony, Samkele, to exercise restraint, because it's quite interesting that some Americans currently here in South Africa are actually rallying behind the South African government over these tensions, meaning that there could be potential risks of sporadic protests if, of course, South Africa does not bow down to the orders by the United States that seek, among others, for South Africa to basically drop its case against Israel at the International Criminal Court.
That issue did rise upon, particularly with the spokesperson of the White House, of the administration, when she had a press briefing during the course of the past week or so. They did highlight that South Africa's issue, particularly with the case at the International Criminal Court in The Hague against Israel and Benjamin Netanyahu, are one of the reasons that this administration of President Donald Trump is having these particular issues with the South African government. But if you go to the statement of the ANC Veterans League, led by Snooki Zigalala, Dr. Snooki Zigalala, it does speak of the relations between South Africa and the United States of America. It was sent out yesterday on Human Rights Day. To quote from this particular letter or statement from the Veterans League, quote, this is the one reason why many South Africans will welcome home ANC veteran and leader Kader Ebrahim Rasool, who was kicked out of the United States for speaking truth to power. As we commemorate Human Rights Day this year, let us acknowledge how the rise of neo-fascism, and let's call it what it is, threatening democracies and human rights values across the world. The disruptive impact of President Trump and his billionaire cronies in the United States is moving at a pace that makes Hitler's moves before 1939 look slow and clumsy. In the last 48 hours, for example, the Trump regime has closed the American National Department of Education, and Elon Musk is financially rewarding Republican congressmen who call for the impeachment of judges. Internationally, the United States continues the imperil that lives of millions of people around the world, including egging on the Prime Minister of Israel, Netanyahu, to continue the genocide of Palestinians. For instance, within this particular statement, the ANC veteran and president of the Veterans League, Dr. Snooki Zigalala, basically speaks about the trade relations of South Africa and the United States of America. To go further, quote, "All these should be of the enormous concern to the ANC and South Africans as we celebrate Human Rights Month." In his well-known input to the MISTRA webinar on the 14th of March 2025, Ebrahim Rasool referred to the need to consider balancing values and national interest. Our national interest includes economic growth and job creation, which can be bolstered by trade relations with the United States of America and other countries. However, our democratic national interest is under threat by right-wing reactionaries. Let me repeat. However, our democratic national interest is under threat by right-wing reactionaries, including at home by minority groups such as AfriForum, Solidarity, and now the Cape Independence Advocacy Group. As the ANC, our strategic objective, both politically and diplomatically, should be to oppose, call out, and build alliances against the rising reactionary imperialist moves of Trump and his allies. It's naive to believe that you can rebuild democratic relations with an impeccable enemy. It is naive to believe that you can rebuild diplomatic relations with an impeccable enemy. End of quote. That was Dr. Snooki Zigalala of the ANC Veterans League, basically putting it clear that it is a falsehood to believe that you can still build diplomatic relations with an enemy that is outrightly, openly fighting with you.
Absolutely. And Samkele, I mean, we've heard the sentiments from the United States all day saying that they will not be engaging with South Africa unless, of course, they bow down to some of those orders. Samkele, we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much. Hopefully we'll be joining you during that welcoming ceremony of expelled Ambassador Mr. Rasool tomorrow. That is SABC News senior reporter there, Samkele Maseko, joining us in Cape Town as we await the arrival of expelled Ambassador to the United States, Mr. Ebrahim Rasool.